Hi everyone. In this video, we will discuss about energy storage. Energy storages are defined as the devices that store energy, deliver energy outside, and accept energy from outside. So delivering energy to outside is called discharge, and accepting energy from outside is called charging. Different energy storage that have been proposed to electric vehicle and hybrid electric vehicle applications are chemical batteries, ultracapacitors or supercapacitors, ultra high speed flywheels, fuel cell, which essentially is a kind of energy converter, and solar panel, which can be on board or off board. So there are number of requirements for energy storage applied in a automatic application, such as it needs to have specific energy, specific power, efficiency, maintenance requirement, management, cost, environmental adaptation and friendliness, and of course safety. First of all, the major energy storage device, that is battery. Electrochemical batteries, more commonly referred to as batteries. A battery is composed of several cells stacked together. The cells convert chemical energy to electrical energy, and the cell consists of positive and negative electrodes joined by an electrolyte. So figure shows an example for a cell. It has an anode and a cathode, and it is immersed in an electrolyte. So the chemical reaction between the electrodes and the electrolyte is responsible for the generation of DC electricity. So the output of the battery is DC power. So in the case of a secondary or rechargeable batteries, the chemical reaction can be reversed by reversing the current and the current of the battery. The lead acid battery is the most well-known rechargeable type. And at present, commercial rechargeable electric batteries suitable for use in vehicles include lead acid, nickel ion, nickel cadmium, liquid metal hydride, lithium polymer, and lithium ion. And of course, sodium sulfur, sodium metal, chloride. The different types of battery technologies are available. And still researches are going on to obtain most efficient batteries. Next is the battery parameters. We will explain different battery parameters, which is most exactly suitable for that is electric vehicle application. That is most commonly referred to electric vehicle applications. First of all, cell and battery voltage. All electric cells have nominal voltage, which gives the approximate voltage when the cell is delivering electric power. The cell can be connected in series to overall voltage requirement. That is the internal resistance and the equivalent circuit of a battery shown in the figure. Thus, this is the R is the internal resistance and E is the fixed voltage, which is a voltage of the actual voltage of the battery, and the voltage at the terminal is the terminal voltage. So V is the terminal voltage. So V and E are actually different because of the loss due to internal resistance. The V is not equal to E. Actually, the equation is V is equal to E minus I into R, where I into R is the voltage drop across the internal resistance, and I is nothing but the current flowing through the battery, and of course flowing to the external load. Next is charge or ampere hour capacity. The electric charge that a battery can supply is clearly a most crucial parameter. The SI unit for this is the coulomb, and the charge when 1 ampere flows for 1 second, which is called a coulomb. But the coulomb is not that much suitable for vehicle as far as vehicle is concerned, because it's a very small value. It's inconveniently small. Instead of that, we use another unit called ampere hour. So 1 ampere flowing for 1 hour is called ampere hour. For example, the capacity of battery might be say 10 ampere hour. This means that It can provide 1 ampere for 10 hours. So next is the energy stored. The purpose of battery is, of course, to store energy, and the energy stored in a battery depends on its voltage and the charge stored. The SI unit is a joule, but this is an inconveniently small unit, and we use another unit called watt hour. So watt hour is the unit used to represent the energy stored in a battery. So this is the energy equivalent of a working at a power of 1 watt for 1 hour. The watt hour is equivalent to 3600 or 3600 joules. So we can write it as energy in watt hour is equal to volt into ampere hour. So voltage into ampere hour is equal to watt hour. Next is the specific energy. The specific energy is the amount of electric energy stored for every kilogram of battery mass. It is a unit of watt hour per kilogram. For specific energy is defined as the energy capacity per unit battery weight. Once the energy capacity of the battery needed in a vehicle is known, it can be divided by the specific power to give a approximation of the battery mass. So if we know the watt hour and watt hour per kilogram, that is, if we know the energy capacity and specific energy, we can approximately calculate the battery mass. Next is the energy density. Energy density is the amount of electric energy stored per cubic meter of battery volume. This normally has a unit of watt hour per meter cube. It is also an important parameter as the energy capacity of the battery can be divided by the battery's energy density to show the volume of battery required. The battery volume may well have a considerable impact on vehicle design. Next is the specific power. Specific power is the amount of power obtained per kilogram of battery. Specific power is important in the reduction of battery weight, especially in high power demand applications such as hybrid electric vehicles. It is a highly variable and rather anomalous quantity, since the power given out by the battery depends far more upon the load connected to it than the battery itself. For example, we can compare specific power and specific energy. For example, in an electric vehicle terms, they can drive the vehicle very slowly as a longer distance. For example, high specific power normally result in lower specific energy for any particular type of application. That means that for some batteries having very high specific energy means it can drive longer distance, but they have low specific power means they can drive the vehicle slowly. That is the difference. So high specific power, high specific energy, low specific power means the vehicle can be driven to longer distance at very slow rate. Next is the ampere hour efficiency. So in an ideal world, a battery would return the entire energy put on into it, in which case the ampere hour efficiency is 100%. But it is not possible actually. However, no battery does its charging efficiency is less than 100%. So the precise value will vary with the different types of battery temperature and rate of charge. It will also vary with the state of charge, that will be explained in the subsequent classes. For example, when going from about 20% to 80% charge, the efficiency will usually be very close to 100%. But as the last 20% of the charge is put in, the efficiency fall off greatly. Next is the energy efficiency. This is another very important term, and it is defined as the ratio of electrical energy supplied by a battery to the amount of electrical energy required to return it to the state before discharge. The efficiency of a battery can be defined as follows. So during discharging, efficiency is equal to terminal voltage by fixed voltage, and during charging it is equal to fixed voltage by terminal voltage. So next is self discharge rate. Most batteries discharge when left unused, and this is known as self discharge. This is important as it means some batteries cannot be left for a longer period without recharging. The rate varies with the battery type and with the other factors such as temperature, higher temperature greatly increases self-discharge. So that simply means that when the temperature increases, the self-discharge rate also increases. So all next is the battery temperature, heating and cooling units. Although most batteries run at ambient temperature, some run at higher temperature and need heating to start with and then cooling when in use. Another is battery performance drop off at low temperature, which is undesirable. But this problem could be overcome by heating the battery. When choosing a battery, the designer needs to aware of battery temperature, heating and cooling units, and has to take these into consideration during the vehicle design process.